Hey. Oh, you left me on mute.
Oh, boy.
You left me on mute. I was saying
What is up, everybody? What is up? Thank you guys for tuning in. Another episode, live broadcast brought to you uncut, unfiltered, unedited. Straight raw.
Just jab at me.
And you can hear on that voice, I have a special guest, guys. I have a special guest. So thank you guys for tuning in. And those of you who are watching on YouTube, and if you're watching later on, hey, please hit that like button, share it, subscribe. Be part of the Comfort and Chaos team, guys, as we continue to grow, mentor, and learn from each other. And find comfort in our chaos, the chaos we call life, guys. All right? So today I got a special guest. Can't wait to reveal him to you guys.
I keep looking over there. I need to look over. I need to practice.
This is the best part right here. Live broadcast. This is it. There's no editing this out.
Right. Okay, see? This is not... I got to try it once. I want to do it. I really do. So...
Yeah, you should.
Live would be fun, but then at the same time, I mean, I don't edit anything out anyway, but still. Live is... It's intimidating.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, don't forget, the chat lines are open, so you guys feel free to interact, engage yourself. Don't hesitate as we continue on through this episode. And feel free to comment down below as well. You know, I do interact and engage. All right. Here we are, team.
We're
Another
live.
Episode. We are live. Here we are with the one and only Q, guys.
What's up?
Q, those of you who have watched my previous episodes, you know, he's kind of one who sparked the motivation, you know, really supported me and has helped me, you know, doing this, you know. So I definitely, owe you a big shout out, big thanks, man.
Oh man, that's big.
I've just missed you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I missed you.
You know, I was looking. I was like, when was the last time we did an episode? And I think it was technically October of last year. End of September, early October. I think there was one in the first week of October of last year, but then that was it.
Oh wow!
So it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute, man.
Yeah. I've been working anyway. Well, I still do the podcast, but obviously it's just hard to ping things and set things up. So
thank you for being here, dude.
Absolutely.
Thank you for squeezing me in your busy schedule. You know.
Listen.
And I mean, I'll be real, dude. I missed you just in general, man. Missed you at work. Missed you our conversations. You know, just missed you, man.
Yeah, well, I missed being in the office. I'm not gonna lie, because it's fun to be around y'all and like in between you, First Sergeant, the Commander, Zach, going between the different offices and then talking to everybody and then doing all that. So I definitely miss that atmosphere of it. Definitely feels more of a camaraderie rather than just like, hey, we're here together because we have to be, which is what military funeral honors was like. So catch me up, man. Catch us up. What have you been up to, you know, and what's new and what are things, you know, new chapters? I see your channel is growing, you know. Yeah.
You're getting a lot. You're already did a whole year now, your anniversary?
Yeah, March 20th was my year when I released my first episode. So it's been officially been a year now. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So this is funny. So me and you, I almost stopped doing Mediocre Dads before we started recording more often together. Really? Yep. I was kind of like, this didn't work out, whatever. I was like, and I haven't done an episode in like the last few months. So like, this wasn't meant to be. And then I remember you asked me like, hey, you want to come on? Like, you come on my podcast. And I was like, oh, you come on my podcast. Then we did the whole thing. And then we went, it was back-to-back episodes that we were doing. That rekindled the spirit of like, no, like I really like doing the podcasting thing. And then they did put me on military funeral honors, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm going to have time to do all these things or whatever the case might be, because it's between school and because I'm in 2 classes right now, and military funeral honors, which is the schedule within itself is hectic. But there does offer some downtime as well.
Yeah.
And then the podcast. And so you started doing your live episodes, and I was like, I remember sitting there. I saw you do your first one, and then your second one, and then the following week you did another one. Excuse me. And I remember telling Aubrey, I was like, he doesn't know it yet, but I was like, we're competing right now. We are competing right now.
No,
I was like, he doesn't know it. I was like, it's a healthy competition though. I was like, it's not like I was like, I'm going to be better than him. It was like, it was a healthy competition. And so
thank you for that, Grizzly. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in, my guy. Competition is healthy though. There is. We did an episode on that, and there is. Competition can be healthy. So.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing, because I was like, he's doing all these lives, and I was like, I need to put my head down and just go at it. And so I started in February. I got one guest, and then I had another guest, and then I had another guest, and I had another guest, and then I've been on like 4 or 5 other podcasts since February. I don't think any of the episodes have been released yet, because the guys I got on their podcasts I'd say they're pretty busy as well. And one of the guys he's out of Canada, and so I don't really know if he released mine or released the episode yet. Mm-hmm. But anyway, shout out to Dave. His name's Dave Gamble. He has several podcasts he does. But anyway, I've been on several podcasts. Some of the episodes haven't been released. I have a schedule now where like I can, like, people are booking with me to be on the show. I have 3 upcoming right now. 3 people coming on my show, and then I have 3 podcasts coming up there. I'm going to be on other people's show. Oh, I just recorded an episode on Good Friday. I did an episode with a guy with his podcast, and he's going to release that soon. So yeah, I've just been busy. Mediocre Dads has been busy, and that has been my goal. And I made it I didn't know it at the beginning of the year, but now it is my New Year's resolution that where I want to grow Mediocre Dads and get out there more and just do more. And so my drive and my focus has been Mediocre Dads, obviously my family and everything, but like Mediocre Dads and my personal life and everything. That is what my priority in life is right now. Like when I go to the Army, I'm armying, right? I'm doing the whole Army thing. Yeah. But then the moment I leave there, my phone, I look like one of those people who are like, what is so important on your phone? I'm like, I'm looking at my schedule. I'm looking at what I have going on. I'm looking like who's talking to me, who's messaging me, who wants to trying to connect with other people and all this. Like, I'm trying to post on social media to get some stuff out there and everything. So like it's a lot. It's a whole lot of stuff that I'm trying to do and I'm doing. And so it's been great. I love it. But like I said, when I almost stopped, and then in January when I saw you, or January, February, and I started saw you doing your lives, I was like, oh no, I definitely have to put my head down and just go for it.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just got to go live.
And so the live is where is the next step that I want to go. But like I was telling you before, I got to figure out what platform which would definitely be beneficial for me to do so. And there's some things last final quirks that I don't want to work out. So
okay. And how's the family?
They are phenomenal, of course. My oldest turned 6 in May, so we're doing her birthday party here pretty soon. My youngest, man, she does this thing, man. Oh, man, I love her to death, but she just screams at the top of her lungs. Uh-oh. And like everything, she doesn't know words, so like she's always screaming. Like, so she wants my phone. She's like, she'll say, Dada, and I'm like, oh yeah, sweetie. And then she'll like stick her hand out and she'll just start screaming on. And I'm like, what is it that you want? Like, I don't know. What do you want? Until you give it to her. And I'm just like, yo, like you are like that. Stop doing that. Stop. Like it's annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's annoying. And those who have kids, this. It's very annoying. And because let's just be real. No one likes a screaming kid. Whether it's your own or another person's kid, you're like, oh, now shut up. You ever been on a plane and someone has a screaming kid and you're just like, yeah. The first few minutes you're like, oh man, they're just probably nervous. It's a little cute, right? But then 20 minutes in the flight, you've heard that over and over and you're like, shut up. shut the kid up. Okay, we get it. We're on a plane. It's a Boeing. You know, we're all scared. Listen, doors are flying off. I'm just trying to get to Dallas, and I did not want to do this with your kid screaming in my ear. So
yeah, no, I think that every time that happens to me, though, it's very like, okay, the parent side of me is like, okay, I get it. I understand. As long as you're trying to do something, though.
Yeah, you have to actively be doing something for me to have some form of for empathy for you. But then, like, for you to not, like, for you just to be kind of be sitting there and just kind of, like, taking that scream, I'm like, nah, bro. No, you need to reel it in. You know what I'm saying? Reel it in. So, I'm not a big person traveling when it comes to, like, whatever. But when we do travel with my girls or with me and everything, oh, man. It's not a good time. It's not a good time. Because I have high standards when we travel, and that's because my dad's a pilot, and so he set high standards when it comes to travel. I'm not saying like first class or anything, but like getting through security and having, you know, checking a bag. I only reason check a bag is because of the military. So like,
that can be very stressful already. You know,
yeah,
the whole airport process.
The airport process makes you feel like you are a criminal.
Yeah, actually, it does. It does.
They make you feel like you are trying to smuggle narcotics into the airport. What's that white powder you got? And it happens. Look, it happens to be in a baggie, soap. And I just like, this is the only container I got. I had, you know, like, smell it. It's pre-workout. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna be gone. I didn't want to take the whole container, and boom, pre-workout. And they're like, yeah, you can't take this on a plane.
Oh,
and you're like, you want me to spend $40 for more pre-workout that I have at my house when I'm going for a 4-day trip? Can you just like taste it? You want me to taste it? Like, look, pre-workout, not going to change. Now I'm just going to be hyped up on the plane. Can I please go through? Like, you know, like, take your shoes off, take your sandals off, or take your belt off. Would it be better if I just went through the security naked? Well, can I just go through here naked and then we just figure it out at this point? I'm sorry, tangent on airport security. I
can tell, man.
I get very passionate about it because it's very irritating. I complain to my dad all the time. I'm like, hey, man, explain to me why this is what it is. And he's like, well, you know, Kwani. Like, no, don't patronize me. Like, I love you, but like, no, shame on you. Tell me why it is. Tell me the real reason. Oh, man, they have their own secrets, though. Like, you know, just like we have our own, we can't.
Of course.
They have their own secrets that he can't tell me. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, it's good to have you here, man.
I went on a whole tangent on airport security. I'm sorry.
He will. Guys, I apologize in advance. He will go on tangents, you know.
100%.
But they're exciting. But yeah, man, so you've been on Funeral Honors, you know. How's that whole experience been? I mean, I could tell you, dude, you've definitely slimmed up a lot, dude. Have you been working out? Have you been running? Are you still doing your running thing?
I haven't done the running. I haven't been running actually at all because, truthfully, time-wise, it just doesn't feel like I have time. And I wasn't have the time to prepare for any half marathon. I was just like, I don't need to hyperfixate or really focus on the running as much. So I was like, I'm just going to put more towards the gym routine. And so that's what I was doing for the longest time because we still have probation and everything. Yeah. And then the last 3 weeks let's say last 2 weeks, 2 weeks, last 2 weeks now. I've been on and off. Like I go for a few days and then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm back into it. And then next thing I know, I'm not back into it because we start at 6:30 and we don't end until 1700. And then it's like, I go home and it's like, okay, school, record, or go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's like, school is like the priority. And then recording or podcasting, editing. And like, I have to get that done because, you know, I have commitments to other people as far as, you know, coming on the show or being on their show, whatever the case might be. And then it's kind of like, I can go work out at 9, but I have to be up by 5.
Yeah.
And I'll be home and I'll be in bed by midnight. And I'm just like, I'll be like, I'm thinking I have so much other things to do. So it's kind of been on the back burner. PT time was definitely a useful time for me to be able to like, yeah, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Cause like I'm capable, but now that I don't have that, it's very rough. So,
okay. Would you say, how would you say it's, like, are you ready to come back to the line
and like do PT, like
just as far as your, this time away, was it something that you kind of used to kind of recalibrate, rejuvenate your leadership skills? And
I would say it's necessary. And it definitely made me reappreciate what it's like to be in more of a force comm environment. The soldiers that I have that are under me, they know me well. And even like the new squads that we're training, they are very aware of who Staff Sergeant Wilcox is. And like so it's bad. Like I do believe myself to be the bad guy. And so, I tell people all the time, I was like, listen, I will be the bad guy. I have no problem being the bad guy. Right. But I can tell you right now, I'm not being the bad guy because I don't like you or I don't want to see you succeed. I'm being the bad guy because the bad guy is necessary. Right. And I was like, you have Sergeant Savoy, who is the cool, calm, collective guy who can talk to you. His focus is, what is it called? Social work. So he is going to end up going out doing social work. He wants to do VA stuff. Anyway, he's social work. So when it comes to working with people, and he's had clients before, he understands like the very raw mentality cannot apply to everyone. Right. So he's the cool, calm, collective guy, but I'm easily like the pit bull. Right. So like I tell people all the time, I was like, hey, I was like, listen, it's easy to piss me off. I was like, it's hard to piss him off. But I said, when the moment you do piss him off, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, good luck. Cause he can go from 0 to 100, but he's very capable to control it. But the moment he loses that, oh man, y'all played yourselves.
Oh.
And I tell them all the time, I was like, listen, y'all take his kindness as a weakness, and y'all think y'all can do whatever you want. But I said, the moment you piss him off, I was like, I'm not even gonna say I can't save y'all. I'm afraid to see him get angry. Like I don't want that for y'all because red. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the very calm dude. So I play the bad guy, and I'm the one where I come off as the very rude person, but I'm all I tell him is like, hey, this is not personal. This is a professional, completely professional. I said, the problem is everyone here likes to take everything personal over professional. I was like, don't get it twisted. I was like, if Quan wants to offend you or attack you personally, Quan will do that. Quan is very capable of doing that. I don't speak in third person to make myself seem high and mighty, but I'm saying is Quan is I'm very capable of making people feel bad. I know I am. I know what I'm capable of when it comes to being mean. So I tell people all the time, I was like, this is not me being mean. This is just professional development from you. The problem is you've never had this before. Yeah. And so now when you do have it, you're like, man, this guy's mean to us. He's an a-hole. He doesn't care. He just likes to sit on his high horse and his rocker and be like, haha, look at me, I'm in charge. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, yeah, you guys just, you've never had someone who expects things from you. You've never had someone who says the standard is this and I expect that. You've never had that before. So it's hard for them when they don't meet that because they're used to failing and then being like, well, it is what it is. You failed. No big deal. Not someone be like, hey, no, you said you were able to do this. You said you were capable and then you didn't follow through with it. Especially sergeants. You cannot sit there and tell me that you as a sergeant are going to do something. You say, Roger that, Stefan. Got you. Ready to execute. And then I turn around and I say, hey man, what's going on here? Well, hold on. Last time I checked, you were a sergeant. You had stripes on your chest and you were happy to have those stripes on your chest. All right. 30 seconds ago, when we were just talking over here, it was 2 NCOs are talking. Now, when I come over here and I check you and I say, hey, what do we got going on? Why are we not doing what we need to get done? It's, you sound like the specialists and the PFCs over here. Trying to skirt the issue. Like, well, the issue and this person did this. And like, no. Hey, man, personal accountability. Tell me what happened. I failed. Hey, listen, I couldn't reel him in, and I was just trying to. No, all right, cool, man. Let's figure it out. If people would just say, hey, yeah, that's my fault. I'm very reasonable to say, all right, man. Hey, I appreciate you being honest with me. How can we prevent that from happening again?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man,
it's a lot.
it comes down to just, ownership, I know I myself, that's something I've been struggling, not really struggling, but it's something that I'm really, really adamant about now, and especially now, I'm getting ready to jump into a new seat, and it's going to have a whole different level of duties, responsibilities, and expectations now. But that ownership, though, of, hey, the realization, and I feel like this is more just even as a man, admitting, hey, I was wrong. I was wrong. It was a bad call. I made a bad decision, and it was wrong. But what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And something with me though is I'm not one to just write someone off. I can't write them off.
I wish I could. I wish I was capable of doing that. I know it sounds mean, but I wish I was capable of doing that. I
can't. It's just not. Maybe it's a character thing. Maybe it's something that just embedded me as an individual, not the soldier side, but just as an individual. But I just can't right someone wrong. Like, they make a mistake. I get it. We're not perfect, but I just can't write someone off,
Yeah.
And I feel like as a senior leader, it's important to have that, because they're going to make mistakes. They're going to make bad decisions.
Yeah.
You're going to work with individuals who probably are not going to meet the expectation that you have, but you either can write them off, and then what does that do? What are the cause and effect now of that? And it's something that I'm not willing to, for me personally, I'm not one that just will do that. There's no growth in that,
It's hard. The Army puts a lot of pressure on us to save people, right? Not in the sense of like, hey, we're in this combat zone or deploy zone. We're doing this thing. We got to go save these people from said group. No, it's just the Army puts a lot of pressure on you, just within the soldiers, within your formation to lead them and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. And I'm all for it. I want to, because I was in a lot of ways that once that soldier who needed to be saved, and and whatnot. And so I'm all for it, and I want to take on that role. But then at the same time, it's so draining, mentally and physically. It's draining to say the same thing over and over and over, and then be like, hey man, like, what is it that you're not getting? What can I do? How can I articulate this to you in a way that you would understand? Right? Like, I get it. I've been telling this for the last week now. I tell people, I get it. My vernacular is very, it's not the average person's vernacular. I'm not when I speak, I say certain things and I use certain words that to some people they're like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, that's as a personal goal for mine. That's what I'm striving to be able to almost speak. And this might sound crazy. I'm striving to be able to speak at the level of Jordan Peterson. Right. So when I listen to Jordan Peterson, I can get 10 minutes in and I'm like, bro, I'm lost. There's too many words. Or Stephen A. Smith, right? Like I strive for that level of vocabulary and of level of communication. Right. That's what I strive for. So when I do it, that's what I do for myself, and that's how I talk to my daughters and my kids, whatever the case may be. But when I'm talking to these younger soldiers, these adults, I'm like, listen, I'm trying to get to you. I'm trying to relay a message to you, and you're obviously not understanding. You're not getting it. Where am I failing that? Do I need to not dumb it down what I'm saying, but do I need to, make short, sweet, and simple type thing? Like, hey,
you're right.
So like, I'm doing it because I want you to be better. I want these soldiers to be better. I want them to be confident in their ability. Right. And I don't believe by coddling and holding people's hands, they're going to be able to get that to that point that I think that they're capable of, that anybody and everybody's capable of. You raised your right hand. You went through basic training. You went through AIT, right? Its own difficulties, its own merit or whatnot, right? I get it. Everybody's gone through basic. Everybody's gone through their own AIT who's in the military. But to say that doesn't mean anything. You accomplished something that someone probably said that you couldn't do, and you accomplished it, and now you're here. And now that you're here, guess what? You've become a soldier. You have a patch on your arm. You're expected and to do a job that you were trained to do. You passed the AIT. You're here, right? So now when you're standing in front of me and I'm teaching you something or whatever the case might be, my expectation of you is greater because I'm like, I know you're capable of it. You just have to believe in yourself that you're capable of it.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They don't. Soldiers, especially generationally, they don't do that.
It's definitely a generational thing, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I have this soldier, he's 21, and man, this whole time it's been rough. I have ADHD, he has ADHD, and, we had a heart-to-heart one day where I was like, yeah, hey, man, like, listen, I was like, I care. I do care. I want to see you succeed because I see a lot of you in me. But I was like, the problem is you take everything I say personal. And he was like, well, I don't like how you talk to me. You talk to me differently. I was like, no. I was like, I talked to you how appropriately. I said, I talked to you how I needed someone to talk to me when I was where you were at. I was like, the problem is there were people who refused to do that who talked to me that way. And so the moment my mentor who decided, he was like, no. I'm going to be the leader you need, not the leader you want.
There you go.
And the moment he did that, that's when my life changed.
Yeah.
That is when my life changed. It took some time. It took the entirety of us being in Afghanistan. Right. So that changed and that mentorship, whatever, it took them. By the time I came back, I was a completely different person. And so like, because of his mentorship, because of our conversations, because of our heart to hearts, but then his also him enforcing the standard of me. When me and him had our conversations, they were real. They were raw conversations, great conversations. Could have put it on a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the moment we go to sleep. All right. And then you wake up back in the morning. It's back to yes, sir. Expectations were back on the table. New expectations. He was like, you taught something. We talked about it. New expectations. The soldier told me, he's like, hey, yeah, I don't like how you talk to me. I don't think he was like, you don't like me. You talk to everybody differently. He started naming other NCOs. I was like, hold on. You just named 2 other staff sergeants. Me and them are peers.
Yeah.
Those 2 have been matter of fact, those 2 they've been in the Army longer than I have. By like 1 or 2 years. It's still, they've been in the Army longer than I have, nonetheless, right? So let's not get it twisted. Those are my peers.
Yeah.
And they see me as a peer. You are by no means on the same level as those gentlemen that you are referring to. And it's not to say like you're beneath them. It's just you have a lot of time. You need more time and you need more experience. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Gosh, dang. You need more time and experience. And I was like, that's all it is. And I was like, listen, man, listen, if I didn't talk to you, I was like, you would know I didn't like you. I was like, 100%. If I didn't include you, you would know I didn't like you.
Yeah. I think we came up from the same time. Like that's usually, when your leaders are joking with you, they're on you,
giving you a hard time,
checking up on you. It's because, it's because they see the potential, and that is something that, and you said it before, cause I'm a firm believer in it though. You got to be the leader that they need, not the leader that they want, So, and I continue to reiterate that, and that goes in every facet of life, really. I mean, if you think about it, as an employer, in the workplace, you got to be that employee or employer that they need, not the one that they want,
Everybody wants, everybody wants the leader that's going to be their best friend. Yeah. But the reality is, hey man, if I treat you like we're friends, and we're everything's all good, and then the moment I need to correct you, how am I going to correct you?
Yeah, they're going to have a whole different approach. Like they're going to receive that differently.
They're really, how dare you correct me? We're boys. We're boys. You're over here trying to act like, oh, you drank the Army Kool-Aid. No, never get twisted. I tell people all the time, I am far from the person who drank the Kool-Aid. Far from it. I was like, the one thing the Army has taught me though is have standards for yourself.
Yeah.
I have standards and expectations of myself. So therefore, because I have those things of myself, when I go to work, I'm at work. So when I show up here and I'm carrying myself in a certain way and doing what I'm doing, it might be intimidating. It might be like, oh man, you really love the Army stuff. Don't get it twisted. If the Army said, hey, I could leave tomorrow, I would leave tomorrow. Man, like everybody, I don't know. Like I would, but like in a lot of ways, I do like the Army and respect the Army. But like still, like if they say I could leave tomorrow, I would leave tomorrow. I wouldn't look back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's not because I'm like, man, I'm ready to be hoo-hoo today. It's just like, nah, man, I have standards of myself. I have people relying on me back at my house who trust and believe that I'm doing the right thing because I've already failed them before. And y'all have heard that story before as well, right? I've failed them before and I will never do that again. As long as I can, I will never do that again, right? As I'm only human, I get it. But like, I will never put myself, them, or purposely in a position to fail. So when I'm here because I have people at home who believe that I'm here doing the right thing, providing for them.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
So, I mean, speaking of failure, though, that kind of like...
Sorry, it came finally. I was
bless
waiting.
Hey, there you go. You feel better now?
A little bit.
No, but on that topic of failure, though, you know, and I had this conversation the other day. Do you feel that someone can change from failure, or they're just gonna keep repeating it?
Excuse me. Gosh, dang, I try to hold it in.
Let it out.
Gosh,
because
dang, I'm gonna give you this answer. It depends.
Well, obviously it is definitely based on the individual.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's a huge application to that, but I would definitely say you can if you want to, because you can learn from failure. You know, you can't learn from quitting, but you can learn from failure, and you learn about yourself. You learn about mainly, you learn about yourself, and it opens up opportunity for growth, in the sense of, hey, I messed up. You know, I didn't do this. I could have did this. I could have did this differently. I could have applied myself differently. I realize that now I have failed, and now I am going to take this and I am going to learn from this, and I'm not going to repeat it, you know. And I feel strongly that is in us, but it starts with the choice. And that's what it really comes down to, because some people will look at the fingers, you know, and start pointing, you know, from failures.
Oh man,
you know,
that's that soldier. He loves to point fingers.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
You know,
I failed because of that person. I failed because of that person.
I failed because they didn't teach me that, or they didn't mentor me, or they didn't do any of this, and they didn't show me that, you know, or allow me the time or anything, you know. And I mean, and it's one of those things where I'm like, dude, I can't teach you this. You learn from your failure and just don't repeat it, you know. Learn from it. Take that L, you know, and apply some growth. Figure out where you can grow from this opportunity, and drive on, you know, drive on. I would say, so my initial answer when you asked me the question is yes, right? Because I did it. But everyone is not me. And so, Exactly.
and everyone does, there's a lot of people, especially younger soldiers in this matter, because I can only speak on my experiences. They don't have, a lot of them don't have a family that they're providing for, they're committed to. They have their mom and dad, their sisters, brothers, whatever, the cousins, whatever, whoever that they love, that loves them, and they're, whatever the case might be, but they don't have that spouse. They don't have those kids that are relying on them. So when I'm trying to stress something to them of like how important it is to just that you can't accept anything less than not perfection, but what if you said, hey, I'm going to do this, then do it. Mm-hmm. And if you fail, figure out where you failed at. Acknowledge that you failed and get back up and say, okay, what can I do to correct that? And then go from there. most leaders in the Army, most leaders in general that I've experienced, which has been mostly in the Army, but even before the Army when I was in high school, what I recognized was if you failed and you acknowledged that you failed, you said, hey, this is my course of action to prevent this failure from happening again. It was very minimal of, all right, hey, you failed, you messed up. Let's go back at it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. There was no other conversation. You're waiting for the shoe to drop. You're waiting for the, you suck, blah, 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 all this. And then it was never that. It was just, all right, cool. That's all I need. That's all I need. And then if it's a repetitive, then it's like, okay, obviously you're not learning from it. Then I need to intervene. But like most of the time, most people are like, hey, man, cool. You did it. And then the following time, I watched, you did it how you said you were going to correct it. And it worked. And I'm like, cool, we're good. Mm-hmm. I don't need to worry about it anymore. But it's people driven. People, and I would say generationally, this generation everyone got a trophy when they're growing up. Everyone was told that they're doing a good job. Everyone was told that they're doing a bad job. Everyone was told that, hey, you guys are all really smart. And it's not to say they need to be told they were stupid, but no one was told to say, hey, Tommy, James, and Isaac are the top 3 in the class. The rest of you are in the 80 percentile, but these 3 are in the 95 percentile. Mm-hmm. If you would like to up your grade and to become in a higher percentile, come talk to me after this class. Mm-hmm. After class is over, we can help you get to where you need to be, so you can get that higher percentile. That friendly competition that we're talking about, like that drive to say, like, hold on, she recognized those 3 students, and I'm with the rest of these people. Nah, man. Hey, what is it that you need from me? What do I need to do? Got it. Yeah. Go for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to take on this that task and see if I can accomplish it. I'm ready to take that on and take that burden and figure out what's next. No, that was never instilled into them when they're growing up. So now they're in the Army, and it's like, no, you're supposed to tell me I'm great just like you told him he was great. Mm-hmm. I can't do that, though. I'd be lying to you. Yeah. I'd be lying to you if I said, hey, you are great. You are a great soldier. I can't. No. Do you want me to lie to you? Do you know what it feels like to be lied to and patronized, and then go somewhere else and someone doesn't do that thing, and they're like, "No, man, actually, you kind of suck." Yeah. It feels like you just got punched in the gut, and you're like, "I've been under this false impression that I was great," and they're like, "Nah, man, you got a lot you need to work on." So I want people to improve. I want people to improve. I want people to succeed, and this is where my failure is at, where I'm not good at reevaluating, meaning I'm not good at, okay, you failed, all right, don't let it happen again type thing, but then coming back and saying, all right, I see that you're trying. Before I just go back to 100 again, let me maybe take it to 25 and like, hey man, you failed again. What's going on? Where are we at? So I guess that's my failure, but man.
Hey, you're learning from it. So
I'm trying.
There you go. There's always room for growth, you know. That's the benefit of life.
I hope so.
You know, there's going to be a new day. You know.
I just don't want to I don't want it to be the point where it's like, man, I can't go talk to Sergeant Wilcox, because he's just going to like freak out on me. It's like, I want you to come to me. Bring this to me. Bring what you have to me so I can help you. But just understand, like, I guess what I'm trying to convey to them is, you can bring your problems to me. You can bring these things to me. You can bring the difficulties to me. You can talk to me about, you can say, hey, I just need someone to vent to, right? You can bring these to me, but also that's one thing.
Why don't you ever answer my call then when I need someone to vent to?
Okay. Do you want me to show you the last time you called me? Matter of fact, you want me to show you the last? He sucks at texting. Don't text him. Don't text him. He sucks at it. You won't hear back. You won't hear back.
That's not true.
24 hours later. 48 max. It's like the CIA hotline. We got 72 hours. Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No, I want to convey is like, hey man, just you have potential or not, as a young man, as an adolescent, you know, stepping into the what manhood is and what it looks like. You have to set standards and goals for yourself. You have to have a purpose behind what it is, who you are, and why you're doing it. Like, I don't need you to be able to tell me, like, when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut. No. I want you to tell me, say, hey, the purpose in life, my purpose in life right now is to be an astronaut. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but the first step that I need to do is I need to get a bachelor's degree in aeronautical studies, in aeronautical engineering or whatever. All right, cool.
Yeah.
How do you do that? That's what I'm here to talk to you about, Sergeant. Great. Let's go for it. All right, and we just go from there.
Bless you.
Gosh.
Bless you.
Thank you. And then we're just accomplishing goals, and we're doing things, we're progressing, and you're setting standards for yourself. You're realizing like, hey, I'm not perfect, but I need to set standards for myself. All right, this is like the bottom line. These are the three things that I can never do. And if I do, I need to reevaluate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want everybody to be like me, but I guess it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt, you know, to know, like, try. I don't know.
So you're saying, failure can be a learning point.
Oh yeah. All failure is a learning, a life lesson.
There you go. And
all failure. I love giving life lessons. Like maybe it's because I have a podcast and like that's what we do. But like I love giving life lessons. Like I love people.
I love receiving life lessons.
I love to tell people, like, let people like, all right, hey man, you do that. Tell me, let's talk in 60 days and tell me what happened. And then you come back and I sit there and I'm like, And every fiber in my being wants to be like, I told you so. I told you so. But you didn't want to listen. Right? Prime example. I told a soldier. He comes to me. He's like, and it's always soldiers with the great stories. He goes, hey, Sergeant, I only got paid $300. I said, what? He's like, yeah, I only got paid $300. And this was like 3 or 4 days after we just got paid.
Yeah.
I go, why am I just now hearing about this? Like, you know, why didn't you tell me like when it happened? You know, I was like, well, I was like, did you tell Young, your other NCO? He's like, well, no, I talked to my NCOs back in my unit. I was like, okay, cool. What'd they say? Well, they're on leave. And so they said on Monday when he comes back, we'll talk, he'll start helping figure it out. I was like, hold on. So the two NCOs that can help you are on leave. And you're telling me you're just going to wait till next weekend. I was like, you got paid $300. I was like, do you realize if those NCOs, same NCOs who are on leave got paid $300, do you realize they would be in the commander's and the first sergeant's office like, yo, like, I need to figure this out. S1's office, finance office, like, yo, I need to figure out my pay. I was like, so why is it that you got paid $300, you told them this, and they're immediate, and they just say, hey, I'm on leave right now. And you're just like, okay. I was like, bro, like, I'm like, what did you tell your first sergeant commander? Well, no, I'm not going to jump the chain. I was like, what? I was like, do you know what the role of your first sergeant commander are? I was like, I don't like, do you know what one of their roles are? One of their primary roles is like, and it's like, first sergeants and commanders may not tell you this, but like, one of their main roles is like, they're here for you. They're here to support you, to help you. They don't just say, hey, open door policy just because, you know, some commander said they have to put it on their wall. No. There's a reason behind that. They want to help you. You are the reason why things are able to function and get done around here. So they need you to be able to, they need you fully capable to do that. But if your family, if your money, medical is not taken care of,
yeah,
they know you're not. They're not getting the best from you because they know you're focused somewhere else. So if they can make sure all that is as it should be, listen, they know they can get some good work out of you. Not saying like they're slave drivers or anything, but they're like effort and whatever the case might be. I was like, so you need to go to your first sergeant and say, hey, first sergeant, I'd like to use the open door policy. You know, my 2 NCOs are on leave and I only got paid $300 and I'm trying to figure out what the next step is and what it is I need to do in order to correct my pay.
Yeah.
Right. And so then your first sergeant, one is going to be like, okay, are you able to pay your bills? Yes. Okay. How are you paying for anything else? Well, I have a savings that I'm emergency fund dipping into. Okay. Do you need AER? I don't know what that is for. All right. Well, it's a loan Army could give you to help you out. Like, do you need that financial support? Whatever the case might be. It sounds like if your bills are paid, you don't need it, but still it's an available option to you if that's something you need that you want to pay for whatever things you have going on that's unexpected. And he's like, that's one. 2, hey, let's go to S1. Let's take you to finance. From there, let's figure out what's going on with your pay so we can figure out how we can get this corrected.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I'm just going to wait. I was like, all right, man. Cool. That Monday comes up and he's like, yeah, they just got back and they said they talked to the S1 and it's something to do with the voucher when he got here. I was like, oh man, this finance sucks. I was like, I got you. And I was like, all right, so what are they doing about it? Well, they said tomorrow they're gonna go talk to this person. What do you mean tomorrow? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. What do you mean tomorrow?
Yeah.
I don't understand. What do you mean tomorrow? And so then I was like, hey man, I've already told you what I think you should do. I was like, but like you do whatever he did not want to do the open door policy. He was like, I'm stepping over the chain, I'm doing all these things. I'm like, it's not. I was like, no, it's not you. I was like, also when you go in there and you explain to them, you're not throwing them under the bus. You just explain they are on leave, so they're not available to help you. It was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
They're not available to help you. The people that are supposed to be there to help you, they're not. They're available. So you're trying to say, I need leadership help because I don't know. I've never been in this situation before. I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that's what they're here for. Thursday comes around. Commander says, hey, I want to have a meeting. Right? I want to have a meeting with you. Finally has a meeting with him. Comes back from the meeting. His face is red. Bright red. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, I'm upset with my finances and my pay because they're asking, I'm trying to get this all done and it just doesn't seem to care. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, hold on. I told you, I made it very clear to you in the beginning. The only person who cares about your pay issues is your pay because it's your pay. I was like, the moment and that's why I gave him the example I did. I said, the moment it was their pay, the only thing you would hear them talk about is how their pay's messed up and they're trying to figure that out. I was like, so just because PFC or specialist such and such has pay issues and lives in the barracks and doesn't have a car and they think he doesn't have things he's paying for. And so they're like, well, he's got the DFAC, so he's got a place to stay, so he's taken care of for the most part. Don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you should be able to show up to work and just be like, yep, I only got paid $300, but yippee me. No. I don't know. I just do.
So I mean, there's multiple points of failure on that one. Obviously, the soldier probably has a different upbringing in that unit, and the climate and the environment that they have created, could be one that is like, hey, not approachable, and the soldier just probably feels left alone, which is the wrong answer, but at least you were there, and you were there to engage it, and provide that soldier with that guidance that he needed. Because I'm pretty sure now he knows,
Oh, yeah.
So it's good on you.
I try. He's one of the ones when he first came, got under me as one of the soldiers underneath me in my team. Very awkward. Very, very just kind of like robotic and whatever. Right. And man, from the time, so like he got to us like, Christmas. It was a few days before Christmas Day. But from that time, from that soldier, the soldier that I first got to the soldier I have now, he walks around with a with a chip on his shoulder of like you could just tell. You could just tell. Very confident. He looks like he's been he looks like he's been a specialist in the Army for 3 years, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to get my P status and go and get promote.
There you go.
He became a specialist in January. And I'm not going to hear, I don't want to toot my own horn like, look at me, I did that. But I'll just say I did that. You know what I mean? Like
no,
I told him from the beginning, like I told him from the beginning, I was like, Cole, I was like, listen, you may not see it and you may not like it, but I said, by the time you leave here, I said, I can tell you right now, one thing that's going to be very clear to you. You're going to go back to your unit and you're going to look at the soldiers. You're going to see the soldiers, how they operate. And you're going to be like, one, Staff Sergeant Wilcox would never allow that. Y'all would all get this work. I promise you. He would have you. Number two, why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
Where do you? We having a pride in who you are and what you're doing is it creates this level of confidence, and that's what I wanted to create. And I was like, yo, I want you to be confident, because he was like a 35 Fox, just like, I don't know the world, I'm very scared, but now like very.
That's all
confident.
they need, man. Sometimes they just need an extra. They need a good, strong leader to guide them, mentor them, and give them that purpose, direction, and motivation.
He is going to the Soldier of the Month board. Now, he went to the one before he got to us, he was there. He got second place. Whatever. Now he's going back to the Soldier of the Month board. You know why he's going to Soldier of the Month board? Because I asked him, I said, why are you going to Soldier of the Month board? He was like, because I need to practice for when I can go to the actual board.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was like, damn, okay, well, what do you know? And he's like, very general question, right? Obviously, I was like, just like, do you know the creed? And he was like, I almost got it. And so I was like, all right, bet. This morning, I was like, hey, tell me the second paragraph.
There you go.
Knocked it through. I was like, tell me the third. He kind of got through it. It was the last two sentences, which where most people struggle, right?
Yeah.
I was like, give me the first one, because I know it's the easiest one. I was like, Cole. I was like, listen. I was like, you just became a specialist in January. I was like, listen, I need you to understand something. There are specialists who have been specialists for 3 years who don't know what you know.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude walks around, sleeves cuff, like he's been around the block. He's Ranger rolled his hat like he's been somewhere, and like he tried to do Ranger. He was doing airborne.
Yeah.
He jumped out of the plane, hit this, and I guess he PLF'd wrong, and he freaking hit the side of the plane. And so like he was a mental drop, because he's like that messed him up.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I want to go back. I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to get that, and then I'm trying to go to RASP. He's like, he wants to do, I think he wants to do Ranger school, and then he might do RASP, but he's like, I will be a Ranger.
Good, man. Keep keeping that motivation.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, I was like, keep it. Whatever it is, whatever you're holding on to, keep it. Keep it. Don't let it go. Don't let it go, because I'm telling you right now, there will be people around you, your peers, you'll see them not want the same things you want, and you'll be like, well, maybe it's ridiculous that I want to be a Ranger. Maybe it's ridiculous that I want to get the Ranger tab. Maybe it's ridiculous that I want to go airborne. And you will start to intermingle yourself and your beliefs with theirs to be like, oh yeah, it's just okay to be mediocre because everyone else around me is. Mm-hmm. Rather than, no, I want these things. Why should I be ashamed to say I want those things?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a reality we live in right now. But that's good.
I hate talking about me. We've been talking about me a long time. I hate talking about me.
Okay, well, hey, feel free. Ask me anything, man. Bring it up.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna be in charge. You're gonna be you're gonna be that first sergeant, right? You're gonna be that guy. Yeah. So, you're obviously taking on more soldiers than say within a platoon, even from our debt. You're taking from
it's a
high 40s to actually like 100 plus, 150 plus, I think it is, people, and you got different people spread out. So taking on that people on those soldiers, on the responsibility, and of all different ranks, right? What do you think where do you think the difficulties are going to come from the most? You think it's going to come from the work, the people, or both?
Man, that's
I want a definitive answer. I don't want you to say both, so I added it in there.
That's a good
but
question.
I do want the definitive answer of like, where do you think more of the difficulties are going to come from? Is it the work or the people?
So that's a good question, man. And I'll tell you, and I'm gonna go a little deeper on this because I'm gonna get, you're my homie, there's a lot of the feeling that I feel just throughout the day, or just starting this rip and stuff. I get this feeling that like everyone's just waiting for me to fail. Like they think I'm in over my heels, I'm in over my head, and they think they're just waiting.
Like people back at the debt, or like within your new company.
I'm not saying this is like factual.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It is the feeling, it's the energy that I feel, But I am who I am.
Yeah.
I am the leader that I am. And I'm gonna do my job, and if there's something I don't know, I'm gonna learn. If I fail on something or I make a bad call, I'm gonna own it, and I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna have to drive forward.
Give me a hell yeah!
Thank you, Beowulf. I appreciate that.
What?
Glad you agree. But it is that feeling though, where I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
So it is tough, and it can be very exhausting mentally, and all while, you're doing that. And I got my own personal life too that I'm dealing with, and I'm trying to grow both spiritually and mentally right now, and just be a better man and learn from my failures just in my personal life. And then still I have work, and it keeps that drive. So I'm excited, I'm ready to just kind of get it over with, and let me just jump in this water and let's see how it goes. There are a lot more soldiers, there's going to be a lot more humans that are going to need some attention, but I can definitely say though, from what I've observed, it is definitely a night and day difference. It is shout out to the current first sergeant. He's created a steady oiled machine, man, that is going to be like, I just feel the pressure,
Yeah.
That is this machine going to keep going the way it's going, because it's someone else is going to be in charge now. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but
yeah, no, it does. And so do you think that, even with those beliefs, right? Those potential beliefs of people wanting you to fail, or that feeling,
we're just
like,
waiting.
We're just waiting for you to fail.
See.
Like, what do you think if people actually think that, right? Then it's easy to say that anything that you do that you get scolded on once could be considered a failure, right? So, you didn't want to have the org day at the Riverwalk. You wanted to have it at, McAllister Park. Wow, failure. Really. Everybody wanted to do the Riverwalk, but you over here thinking like, well, not all soldiers are making what I make, and it's pretty expensive to go just hang out on the Riverwalk, and it prompts people want to buy food and all that. So I thought, why not go to McAllister Park, where I could go to H-E-B or Costco, buy a bulk thing and get a bunch of food to grill for all the soldiers that would show up. It'd be a lot cheaper that way, and drinks and soda, whatever the case might be. Oh, I'm me thinking about soldiers, but someone saying, no, the Riverwalk would be more fun. Wouldn't that, when people would equate that to a failure, saying, hey, look, it validated my belief he was going to fail. He failed, right? I know that's such a random example, but still, like, my point is, people will, if they think you're going to fail, if they think of you somehow, some way, they're going to look for any reason to validate those beliefs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you already failed in their eyes. There's nothing you could do to say I
definitely feel the pressure.
Yeah,
there is definitely pressure.
100%. It's a new role. So yeah,
it is, and it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter in my career. It's all new. This is really new. I definitely feel the pressure, but it's all about how I one, can incorporate balance, and then two, what am I going to do with that pressure? You know. And I think that's why, and when I asked you earlier, I mean, I know there's gonna be some tough calls, or there's gonna be some failing points. You know, I'm human, you know, and I'm learning, and I'm new, you know, and I'm not perfect. You know, there's really no, I mean, you can't point to me who's the perfect leader, you know. I mean, everybody has their flaws, but it's how am I willing, what am I willing to do to learn from those failures?
Yeah.
And communicate that, you know. So all in all, man, that's kind of like how I'm approaching that, you know, and I'm going to just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time, one meeting at a time, one training event at a time, one mentorship moment at a time, you know, and I'm just going to drive forward and just do my job, you know, be the leader that I've always been. That's kind of how I'm going to approach it, man.
What I will say is that's what got you the position in the first place. So why would you change up?
No, you're absolutely right.
Doing?
And that is something that's how I see it. And that is what I'm constantly regurgitating in my mind. You know, I'll come home just drained, and I'm like, dude, I need to go into my therapy session, you know. And I've even confided with, you know, mental health professionals, and it's like, just so I can recalibrate myself, you know, because you that is something that we the Army doesn't really teach you that, on how to drain the day, you know, drain the day off of you and focus on you, focus on your family, focus on whatever it is, but just drain the day. And it doesn't train you for that. So you are literally, you know, I'm getting signal messages right now. I got 4 signal notifications. It's like, guys, in my mind, I'm like, drain the day. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You know, and I get it if it's not life, limb, or eyesight or emergency, but it's like, dude, you know, drain the day. You know, this is a tomorrow thing. We can tackle this tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm looking at fun. I'm funny enough because I had several as well, but not on the same level as you did. But yeah, like it's funny because it feels like you said, we never learned how to do that. You know, I remember in basic training, feeling like it never stopped.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, when you have that feeling of like, it's just almost like it never stops. It's like never a moment of reprieve, right? That it feels almost so overwhelming that you're like, oh yeah, I'm only doing 4 years of this. I'm only doing what they make me. And after that, I'm done, right? Like I can't handle this, right? But then you start to realize like you can handle more. You can handle more. You can handle more. Over time, you're like, I can handle more. Okay, I've sucked at this, but now I'm pretty good at this. I can do this now. I'm confident in this. I'm confident in my ability. I'm not great at this, but I'm working on it. And the next thing you know, it's been a year, and you're like sitting there, and they're like, yeah, no, he's one of the best first ones we've had. And you're like, what do you mean? It's great. Like, we're like, yeah, but like, what about the beginning? Wasn't he struggling? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I can only tell you. What he's done for me since he's been here. I can tell you what it feels like to actually have someone. Not to say the current first one, he's awesome, but like, you know, the different change in pace. Right. I can tell you where it's like, where people, their goals change. Like, oh man, I can tell you right now, there's a person in your formation that you're going to take over for, that sees you and says, man, he's a little intimidating, but man, how do I get to that? How do I get there?
Really?
At 100? Okay. All right. Yeah. Look, I get it. I'm my own worst critic too.
Dude. All right. My worst. I still have trouble taking a compliment. Like,
I can't take compliments. I don't know.
I can't.
You said it in the beginning. You're like, yeah, man, you helped Spider-Man. I was like, I don't know what to say that. I don't know what to take compliments.
No, it's just true though, dude. You know,
I'm not good at this.
It is very true, but I've always been, you know, just never one to take compliments.
There's someone in your formation right now that you're ready. They're waiting. They're ready for it. They're ready. They're like, hey, the moment he takes over, I got a question, but I'm just nervous to ask. Mm-hmm. So I got to figure out how do I find my way into his office and be like, hey, first sergeant, quick question for you, and just see what type of person you are. Right? They're trying to figure out because they've seen you around, right?
Yeah.
But the moment you take on, it's almost like you're putting on a cape now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, it's changing. You're different. You're the same person, but in a lot of the younger soldiers' eyes, they're like, you're a different person now because you're in a different role. And in some way, in a lot of different ways, you have to be. There's different sides of you that have to come out more than the side that you were showing before.
Yeah.
Right. And some people are not gonna like it. You're not gonna make everybody happy. Never gonna make everybody happy.
Yeah. I got to be the leader that they need, not the leader that they want.
100%. You are there to say, hey, at the end of the day, I'm here for you guys. 100%. At the end of the day, I'm here for you. So when I step into the meeting and Sergeant Major says, hey, you're going to give me 10 soldiers and they're going to go sweep or mop the rain. And you're like, hey, Sergeant Major, listen, I understand that mission's critical right now and we need to get it done. I can give you 3. You know what? You're going to give me 10. Listen, Sergeant Major, I can tell you right now, for the betterment of my soldiers and the betterment of my team, and to accomplish this mission, I know I can give you 3 people and they can accomplish that mission for you. Right? You have a timeline. You gave me all the essentials of this mission. I can tell you right now, 3 of them can knock it out. Right? Mm-hmm. I can give you 3, but I can't give you 10 because I have this mission, I have this mission, I have this operation. I need people here, here, and here. So if you're telling me if this is more important then all of these things, all these platforms that are going on over here, 100%, I'll pull everybody off, and hey, you ask, we'll do it. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. All right, Roger that, Sergeant Major. I got 3 of you. Hey, man, listen, I get it. Sergeant Major needs some. Sergeant Major needs some. I got to give 3 of them. Listen, don't worry about coming to formation tomorrow. I just need you here. I just need your 09 bright and early, ready to go. But for today, this is what I need you to knock out. Mm-hmm. Boom. Right? Yeah. And obviously, like that. I mean, he's not going to take you with month rate. But again, in my head, it sounds so simple, but obviously there's more details that go into it, whatever. But what have I found that most soldiers respect, and I'm sure you have more experience, so you kind of understand as well, is the fact is a willingness is to say, hey, I understand, right? Yeah, I understand how you feel in a lot of ways. However, that doesn't change the fact that this mission still needs to get done. Yeah, and I could choose anybody, but I'm choosing you, and you. Because I know I can trust you, that I can say, hey, go do this. You're going to execute. And my way of showing you gratitude is say, hey, don't show up to formation tomorrow. That's what I can do for you right in the right now, right?
No, and I'm good at making those calls,
And it may not be that. It may not be like you can give them that, right? It's like, hey, man, listen, can't give you that. I can give you something better. Don't worry about it. You may not see it right now. 3 or 4 months. You're going to be standing in front of next to Sergeant Major, though, and they're going to be like, hey, who are these 3 AMs for? Well, Sergeant Major, actually it's for boom, boom, boom. These are 3 soldiers, stellar soldiers, been killing it, and I think they're ready. They deserve it. They deserve an award. They deserve to be standing in front of the battalion to receive these. Right. In the moment, and what you might feel good, and 3 or 4 months afterwards, people are like, man, he didn't care. He just threw us out to the wolves. But then you're like, hey, no, man, I'm always here to take care of you. That is what I know that you're capable of, and what you're good at is taking care of people. And they may not be get that at that immediate right now if we're like, oh man, it doesn't feel like he said he's going to take care of me, but it doesn't feel like it. But I'm like, hey man, don't worry about it. I never forgot. All right, any young soldiers, I'll tell you right now, if any time a senior leader tells some, hey, we need to do this, we know some of it is dumb. We know it's dumb. They themselves probably know it's dumb. They feel dumb probably having to tell you to go do it. But the crazy part is it has to get done. So when they tell him, they might have a conversation where it's like, listen, this is really dumb. But like, I got a boss just like everybody else, and I'm your boss, and here I am. And obviously I can't be telling you this, but this is really stupid. But I need people. And you're like, right, that's right. So you go back down, you're like, and you almost tell the same thing, right? It's not BS, it's just reality, right?
Yeah,
but you don't tell them Sergeant Major said, you're just like, hey, listen, guys, this is really stupid. Y'all want to know the stupidest thing I've ever done in the Army? Let me tell you, this is one of them. But listen, I got you. I'm right there with you, and I'm gonna make it up for you, right?
Yeah.
And then most people are like, oh man, he knows it's dumb. and it sounds like he tried to fight back for it. But like some things we can't say no to. Like I said, guys, like they know it's dumb. There's things that have come down they know are dumb, but they have to get done. And where that comes from, it just comes from experience of where you're just like, this is stupid, but hey, man, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm trying not to cuss.
No, I know what you're saying, man. And I appreciate that. Like I said, it's just, I definitely feel the pressure. So it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I'm ready to just kind of like, let's get this over with, and let me start trucking,
I'll say this to you. Moses did not want to be the guy. He did not want to be the guy to go talk to Pharaoh and be like, hey, so my God told me to tell you to let us go. Yeah. You cool with that? Can we go worship him in the desert? You cool with that? All of us? We're just gonna abandon our houses. We're gonna come back, I promise. We're coming back, I promise. Of course we'll be slaves again, willingly, after you let us leave. Of course, right? No, like, Moses didn't want that.
Yeah.
Moses didn't want that. He literally said, I don't think I'm your guy. And his way of saying that was, okay, so what am I supposed to tell the people when they say, how do you know it was God who spoke to you? What is your name? What do I say to them? And that's where the Yahweh thing comes from, where people's like, this, I am. And it was like, oh, sure, okay, yeah, it's really him. And that's what he used and whatever to get them. But he also said, hey, can you drag my brother Aaron into this too? Because, I need someone to speak on my behalf, right?
Yeah.
And so, but he didn't want it. Moses didn't want it. By the time Moses gets to Mount Sinai, he's a different Moses from the Moses when the burning bush occurred.
No. That's true.
A completely different person. He's a man that would sit there and he was like, yo, like, you foolish people. Y'all want to worship a golden calf? I just got done talking to God up on Mount Sinai for 40 days. I didn't eat or drink water, right? And y'all were working, anyway, not important, but not important. But my point is, Moses didn't want it, but he got it because God was like, I know you got it. I know you can do it. You got to tell yourself you can do it. I'm reinforcing that you can do it, and I'm the one holding you up, not me, but God is, right? You just got to believe that you can do it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're going to do it, and you're going to sit there, and you're going to think back to this moment because it's all recorded. Hello. Yeah. And you're going to be like, I don't even know why I was worried about it. I was stressed out a little bit. I was very stressed out, but then next thing I know, I'm like, this is fun. It's something new. Yeah, there's pressure, but like,
yeah,
you've been in pressure situations before.
Yeah.
Did you I guess I'm just gonna go into a turtle shell now.
Yep.
No, I get it. I know it sounds like a BS inspirational speech.
Actually,
you just gotta
the analogy, the Moses analogy, definitely hits home. So that is good. I needed to hear that. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely needed to hear that, and it's always good to get that extra encouragement. So just be ready because I'm gonna be texting you, and I'm gonna need a friend to vent to and stuff.
Oh, I'm all for it. Listen, I
remember you said that, and that's recorded too. And that's recorded too, because I'll just clip that and just play it every time he ignores my text.
I don't know if you guys remember, but remember this part? He said it. He said it. We got some chat line interaction here. People talk.
Beowulf says, "Hey, there's a book that I have read, Turn the Ship Around by L. David Marquette. Do you guys know it? Feel like it's the vibe of tonight."
I've never heard of it.
I'll have to check it out. I've never heard of that book, man, but I thank you for the reference, man. Appreciate the interaction as well. He also has a question. This one's for you. Hey, tell me, what is the stupidest thing you've done in the Army? You asked the right question.
I'm sorry. Okay, so, oh, man, how do I start this story?
Answer it like in 3 minutes.
Okay, so no shit, there I was, right? No, for real, the stupidest thing I've ever done in the Army was, man, I feel like I have so many stories, and I'm trying to ping what the best one is.
The stupidest thing I've done in the Army.
Yeah, go for it. I got to think of something.
We had to make a guidon out of rocks from a gravel pit, and we literally had to form a chain to the gravel pit, and one rock at a time, one pebble at a time, and then we're passing that pebble all the way down this chain of soldiers to form this giant guidon on the concrete slab in front of our cough.
Wow.
Yeah, literally, probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Oh man. Oh man. I would say the stupidest thing, and it might not be super, for me. It was very stupid. Was you know sand tables, right?
Yeah.
Right. So have you been to NTC?
Yeah.
All right. So you know the big sand table the giant one they have out there.
Your op orders.
Right. All right. So they said, hey, we got to build a sand table. I said, cool. I don't know what a sand table is. Specialist Wilcox. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm a 42 Alpha. I don't know what it is. I'm here. I'm figuring it out. Right. But they said, no. We're not there yet. So you need to come over here and you need to build your own first, the small version of it. I was like, I don't even know how to build one. So he gives me a corner of the sand, and he was like, all right, go make a sand table. I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, hey, you're going to draw some lines. You're going to put some rocks that represent things, and then you're going to brief me on it. I said, sir, I don't even know what a sand table is until 2 minutes ago. What do you mean I'm going to brief you on it? He's like, you got it. He walks away. And I was like, wow. I don't know what to do at all. Yo, I drew some, I kid you not. So I drew some squiggly lines in the sand, and I put some rocks up. He walks over and he goes, that's what I'm talking about, Wilcox, and walks away. And never talks about it again.
There you go.
Never talks about it again. I was like, what did I just do?
It's weird too, because they always apply like there's some type of learning point that you can gain from that.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know. Maybe discipline initiative, independent operational thinking.
Probably, maybe.
That's probably how I would have spun it.
Probably what it was. He was a major. I was just like, yes, sir. No, sir. I'm moving, sir. So.
Yeah, I'll never forget, though, making that guidon out of the rocks, the pebble rocks. That was the dumbest thing we did.
Guidon out of rocks.
And I think it's because a soldier got in trouble, and it was like attention to detail kind of thing. So it was like, oh, we all have to do this now.
Everyone do this thing. And you're like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stupid stuff in the Army, but like also fun stuff. Like you come back, think back to it, you're like, that was fun. That was
no,
fun.
I mean, I look back, I'm like, okay, this is kind of, you feel part of the brotherhood now. Like everyone has a story, and now I have one. So,
I'll say good. One more. Say one more. It's stupid, but it was a learning moment, right? I forgot to, so we, winter PTs, full winters is like you get the summers under. I didn't wear my summers under, so I just had the winters and I was rocking it. And my first sergeant was like, hey, downgrade. And I was like, I'm in the front of formation because we're doing first sergeant PT. I was like, everybody's downgrading. He's like, why aren't you downgrading? I don't have it first sergeant. He's like, you don't have what? I don't have summers underneath here. And my room's like 100 feet behind me. I could, he could just let me go run and change. He's like, too easy. Don't worry about it. Hey, we're going to do the prep drill. You run around this formation screaming, I'm a satellite, I want to be seen. I had to run around the formation screaming, I'm a satellite and I want to be seen. My platoon sergeant, or my NCOIC, was my drill sergeant, right? He was my senior drill sergeant. So fast forward to I'm running around this formation saying I'm a satellite, I want to be seen. He's in the back of the formation. I just embarrassed this man. He turns around as I'm passing him. He goes, you sound the fuck off right now. And so I was like, I'm a satellite and I want to be seen. I'm a satellite and I want to be seen. And I'm running around the formation the whole time they did the prep drill. The entire time they did the prep drill.
Wow.
That I will never forget that moment. I will never forget that. So, yeah.
That's actually pretty good, man. I hope we answered your question there, Beowulf. So I appreciate that. And thanks for chiming in. And yes, that is our experience when it comes to that. But yeah, man. I guess I don't know. We can get ready to wrap things up here. Do you have anything else you'd like to ask me? Anything you want to touch base on? Got like another 10 minutes. 10
minutes? Oh, geez. You made me feel like I didn't have that long. I'm sorry. Geez. I do, but maybe. What? Okay, let me ask you this. So the first sergeant gig's over, and it's all said and done, right? What's next? What, like, you know, because, like, obviously the first sergeant thing is important. You're gonna wear the diamond. You're gonna do it. You're gonna get frocked and everything. You're gonna do the thing, right? But after that, what's next, right? What is next on the ladder to say, like, hey, I need to accomplish this?
You know what's crazy is, so when I first joined, I joined and I always looked up to two positions. It was a drill sergeant and a first sergeant. And I always told myself, well, I will be fulfilled in my career if I fulfilled one of these positions. Ultimately, the first sergeant's the big one, you know, because I've always had good first sergeants, you know, and in my young upbringing of my career, and I've always looked up to them, and I've always seen that they are the ones in charge. You know, they are the ones that are never late to a formation.
Yeah.
You know, because it's their formation.
Yeah.
Just standing in front of formation, you know, keeping tabs on everybody, having an answer to a question. You know, I respected that and I looked up to it, and I always told myself that's where I want to be. And when I hold that position, then I know that I'm fulfilled in my career, in the Army at least. I haven't really gone that far, to be honest with you, man, because I've been so focused on this. But it is something that does weigh heavily on my mind. And it's come down to a lot of, you know, I'm really focusing a lot more on, believe it or not, man, just meditation and prayer. You know, and I gotta ask what is gonna be next? You know, where am I gonna be led to next, and for why? You know, because I'm not trying. I mean, in my mind, I only want to just do my 20, and then that's it. Not a minute pass, and then get out. And so it comes down to, okay, you know, and then of course there's the personal life, you know, that I got to start thinking about, and you know, and that growth that I need to apply there. So there's a lot. It's just a lot to take in, you know, but it's not something that I'm just putting away to the wayside. You know, I'm definitely praying about it, you know, and definitely in meditation about it, you know, and just really keeping it as a focal point, and just trying to stay prone to see what's next, you know. Hope that answers your question.
No, it does. And because I think a lot of us like to think like, okay, like when we're trying to play like 3D chess, you're like, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to here, and I'm going to here, and I'm like, then the next thing you know, I'm going to do 20, it's going to be great. But, you know, I myself have been thinking, and I've been doing that game, playing that game, but then I've been kind of thinking to myself like, okay, I don't even know what's next after military funeral honors. Like in my head, I have something, in my head I have something next, but like, I don't know what's actually next, right? It's like, I don't know what the next thing I'm going to do. So I'm just curious because.
No, it's a good question, man, and it's something that we should all think about, you know. But yeah, there's even personal goals too that I'm still trying to hit. You know, I've been praying about it. I think you know, I don't know. I know I wouldn't mind, you know, just laying down roots again, you know, and seeing if that's what God's will is, you know, and if I got to focus on bettering myself and learning from my failures on my personal life so that I can meet that goal, then that's what I got to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to use my career as my drive and keep me going throughout the day. But there's still some growth I want to apply myself on the personal end too. So I also have to factor that, you know, because yeah, dude, it's tired. It sucks going to all these events and you're the only one.
Yeah, I have one more question for you.
Yeah, man.
So, oh geez, I'm having a brain fart right now. I can totally feel it coming. It was a great question. Oh no, it was a great question, and it went away.
Oh, come on now.
It was a great.
Is it in your phone? You can.
No, I was looking up a verse and I couldn't find the verse. That I wanted, that I was going to read. I think it's like Numbers something, but it was the prayer that God gave to Aaron or Moses, and they said to Aaron, like, this is the prayer that you pray, kind of like the Lord's Prayer, but in the Old Testament. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so I have been on this belief for the longest time, and it's really resonated with me now that, there are people who dedicate themselves to purely the Army, meaning what their goals and their accomplishments are in the Army. And then you can tell who those individuals are because their whole entire being is driven by who and what they are in the Army, right? Mm-hmm. So I've picked up this belief of like, I work on myself on a personal level where it's like, okay, these are the goals I'm trying to accomplish. Podcast, right now finishing a bachelor's, and then start a master's degree, get certified in counseling, get certified in this, right? Work where my and start a few businesses. That's where my focus is really driven towards where these things are, right? And then the Army is kind of like the way I can pay for that, right? So do you think that it's better to have goals outside the Army because the Army is so temporary? Meaning, like, not to say like the Army's not important, but like, do you think it's good to say, hey, the goals on the outside should drive an individual versus the goals of purely in the Army? Because once you're done in the Army, you're done, right? You're like, you retire, you call it a day. And though you always see those people who are so infatuated with that life that they can't let it go, where it's like, because they didn't have anything on the outside, right? So do you have that thing where like, hey, on the outside where you're not like, it's almost keeps you tethered. You're like, hey, like I love the Army, but like not that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I definitely, I've always accepted the reality that in the end, we all got to hang up the uniform, no matter what rank you are, no matter how far you make it, eventually you will have to hang up that uniform, and what is then going to be the next chapter, know?
And it's not to say like, well, like, what are you going to do after you retire? But it's to say like, do you have things that you are watering? It's like watering a seed, watering your plant, or you're watering now and then nurturing. And then by the time you get out, you're like, man, like the Army is great, but like my focus is here now.
Yeah, no, there are a few things that I have in mind, a few seeds that I want to plant and then see what grows, definitely. And I'm coming to that point where now I want to shift a lot of attention to that, and it was just my birthday recently. And that's something too, that I've also been trying to apply myself, the day after my birthday, I just went for a long walk, on the river, and just walked, got in the sun. And the whole time I'm just there listening to some music. And then I'm like, I'm praying in my head and I'm meditating. And I'm just like, just really just reassessing, doing some self-reflection. And I am just, okay, I need to start thinking about things, and what do I, like you said before, if you have this goal, okay, what's the step to get there? What are the steps to initiate this? What needs to get done first and what needs to get done here? And that's literally how I've been taking it, but, it's not easy though. I will tell you, it's not easy, and it's not going to be easy for really any of us. It's going to be a challenge, but it's not an impossible one, So that is something I've been doing, and even now I've been, I start to end my routines now with just a walk, outside, just like a little walk. And that is my, meditation and prayer time, and just kind of like really reflect from the day, reflect on what I'm going to do next, what tomorrow, what needs to get done tomorrow, and how can I apply this to myself, So that's a really great question, man. You always get me to go deep on these things.
Oh, well, that's what it's about.
That's why I miss you, man. That's why I miss you.
But before you do your thing, I promise, I got one more thing for you. Right? And so as you were talking, as you're going through it, this is what I was looking for. I promise I was paying attention. I was not like being rude. I was looking for it because I wanted to say this to you. So this is it's called the priestly blessing. It's number 6, 22 to 27. So this is the prayer in which essentially that the Lord told Moses to tell Aaron how to pray over the Israelites, right? So then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons to bless the people of Israel with a special blessing. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Whenever Aaron and his sons bless the people of Israel in my name, I myself will bless them. So, I heard that for the first time when I was in church. It was like when I was at Fort Hood, and I was like, man, what is this? I never heard of this before. I mean, it was in the Bible, right? I thought it was just something somebody came up with. But then I read it as I was going through the Bible for the earlier this year, and I was like, that's it. That's a thing where whenever someone tells me they're going through something and they're just kind of in this place and it's rough, whatever it is, right? And they're like motivation, they're talking about spiritually. I'm like, all right, let me give this to you. Because the things that are in the Old Testament are definitely a lot of them are applicable to what goes on nowadays, right? And they're different own ways. But the part where it says, may the Lord bless you and protect you, and may his face shine upon you, is just to say, hey, I just want nothing but blessings for you. I want nothing but blessings for people that are watching in your audience, because at the end of the day, we came from dirt and we came from dirt, and we at one point we're going to return to it. And I pray that we can be the best people that we can be in this world, to each other and to our families, and just build and grow and become successful in our own way. But in order to do that, we need God. So that's all I got.
No, that's awesome, man.
So
thank you. Jeez. Get me all up in my feels over here, man. Gosh. Jeez. And I'm not even I'm drinking seltzer water here.
Oh, it's a Tuesday.
LaCroix,
look, it's a Tuesday. We got work tomorrow.
Yeah. No, man, I appreciate that. That is, I needed to hear that, man. I definitely needed to hear that. So whatever led you to read that to me, you're definitely in tune. You're definitely in tune, man. Barbaric Barbie type. Okay, so Beowulf says, "Hey, man, that nickname is Satellite." Barbaric Barbie types. Self-care. You'll always be a number in the eyes of the army. So got to take care of yourself. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And yeah, that is something you can't neglect. And it's something I'm learning too now. I've devoted a lot of time and a lot of energy and effort to the Army myself, but this duty station, I can definitely say my time here and everything that I've had to deal with, has been a learning point of just the importance of that self-care. So excellent point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Kicks your butt in a different way being here.
Yeah, it does, man. It's a different side, but it's like one of those things where you're just like, dude, okay, this was needed.
Yeah,
this was needed, and it's part of just that reflection part of identifying growth, the growth that was needed, to get you through, because this world is just getting crazier and crazier.
Oh man,
gotta find comfort in my chaos, guys. That's what I'm doing. I'm finding comfort in my chaos.
There you go. Oh man, see, you're
great segue.
Your slogan is so easy to throw in there, like, hey, comfort of chaos. Here we go. Hey, there we go.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up, man. Hey, let everybody know where they can find you, dude, and what you got going on, real quick. And I'll make sure to put the links in the description once I publish the episode as well, too, team.
Yeah. No. So, Mediocre Dads. It's a dad podcast, obviously within the title, but I don't only, speak about two dads, right? I want to speak to parents. I want to speak to moms too, because I wouldn't be the dad that I am, or wouldn't be able to be the dad I am today without my wife and without her support, without her guidance and her own way, man, toward me and helping me, because she is the support system that allows me, one, to be here and have this conversation, right? And be on a podcast and say, hey, babe, I know I just got home an hour ago, but I got to go now because I got to go record. And she's like, all right, go for it. I got the kids, whatever. Awesome, so Mediocre Dads it's while it's about the dads, helping dads, it's about the moms too. Cause most dads cannot be the dads they are without that significant other in their life. And if you're a single dad or whatever the case might be, well then, hey, let's talk, but I got you, or, we'll figure it out because, whatever. But anyway, Instagram is Mediocre Dad. It's Mediocre_dads. Facebook, Mediocre Dads. YouTube is Mediocre Dads. Look, all of it's Mediocre Dads, guys. If you find Mediocre Dads and you see my face, I promise you I'm on there. I'm there. That's me. And that's all I got. Mediocre Dads. Being mediocre is a choice, and refuse to be mediocre.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You always throw that out there.
100%. That's got to. My mother-in-law got mad that I didn't do it. She's like, you need to stop saying it towards the end of your episodes. I was like, all right, you got me. So I said it. There you go.
That's awesome. Hey, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next episode, okay? I'm going to try to, hopefully you can come lock something in for Thursday. And I'll be back here with you guys once again live. And other than that, team, hey, if you're watching later on another episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. Hey, support Mediocre Dads as well, guys. Support my man Q. He's got a good message. He's got good intentions and a good mission statement that he's putting out there for the masses. Man. So, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the engagement, the insight, the input. I appreciate that. All the remarks, you know, the applauses. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as you guys already know, you know, take your vitamins, drink your water, do your push-ups, and most importantly, team, continue mission. The mission of life, all right, guys? I always say, don't hesitate on creating a memory and don't hesitate on an opportunity, guys. You guys all have a good night. From my world to yours. Out. Say bye, dude.
Oh, well, Mediocre Dad's out.